Welcome to Calcutta Races Monsoon Meeting 8-day Tuesday 20th August 2019 race preview. We move on to the first race, which is the Celery Handicap for horses in Class 5 to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. We're looking at number 1, Baglioni, top class out of Bella. Last outing being in the winter in race number 198 over 1200 meters, where Baglioni travelled second out of 12 runners till it turned for home and then gradually shot into the lead and went on to win that race by 2 1/4 lengths by beating Mrs. Willy-Nilly. Number 2 is Dakshesh. Dakshesh has had 2 outings this monsoon meeting, last one being in race number 35 over 1200 meters, where Dakshesh, after much efforts, finished on 4th. And also in the same race, we had number 5, Hudson, who finished on 7th, and number 6, The Last Judgment, after a couple of reminders and travelling wide of the track in the final stages, finished off on board to finish on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Glorious Leaps. Number 3 will be Sprinkles, surf rider out of Elegant Approach, last outing being in the winter season in race number 119 over 1100 meters, where Sprinkles ran a bit green and erratic in the final stages, finished on 10th out of 12 runners, and the winner of that race was Night of Thunder. Number 4 will be Aberella. Aberella has had 2 outings in this monsoon meeting. First outing finished on board to finish on 3rd. Last one was not impressive at all in race number 41 over 1200 meters, where Aberella finished on 7th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Dancing Prince. Number 7 will be Imprimatur. Imprimatur's last outing was in the winter in race number 179 over 1200 meters, where Imprimatur finished out 13th out of 14 runners, and the winner of that race was Kaiden. Number 8 will be El Milano. El Milano's last outing was in the winter season in race number 200 over 1400 meters, where El Milano travelled very wide in the final stages of the race and finished on 6th after best efforts, and the winner of that race was Roxer. Number 9 will be Phoenicia. Phoenicia has had 2 outings this monsoon meeting. Last one was not impressive at all in race number 7 in over 1200 meters, where Phoenicia finished almost detached from the field to finish 7th out of 7 runners, and the winner of that race was Marigold. Number 10 will be Auntie's Boy, Green Coast out of Aunt Dottie. Last outing being in race number 21 this monsoon meeting. That's the only outing it's had over 1400 meters, where Auntie's Boy finished on 5th and travelled 2nd till it turned for home and then gradually fell back to finish on 5th, and the winner of that race was X-Light. Number 11 will be Hurricane Storm. Hurricane Center out of Paddy's Dasher. It's had 2 outings this monsoon meeting, finished off the board in both its outings. Last one being in race number 40 over 1100 meters, where Hurricane Storm travelled 8 till it turned for home and then gradually gained 1 place and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Dilmange Mo. Number 12 will be Jorel. Jorel's had 3 outings this monsoon meeting, finished on the board in its last 2 starts. Last one being in race number 28 over 1100 meters, where Jorel finished on 3rd after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Moira. We move on to the second race, which is the Thrifty Allen Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters, this being a no-whip race. We're looking at number 1, Bang Bang. Last outing being this monsoon meeting in race number 34 over 1100 meters, where Bang Bang travelled 7th till it turned for home and then gradually gained a couple of places and finished on 4th was Bang Bang. Also in the same race, we had number 2, Levante, who finished on 6th, and number 4, Monitor, who finished on 5th. But the eventual winner of that race was Astoria, who went on to win that race by a length and a quarter. Number 3 will be Tomorrow Forever. Tomorrow Forever has had 2 outings this monsoon meeting, finished on 7th in both its outings. Last one being in race number 30 over 1200 meters, as you can see in your CCTV monitors. Finished on 7th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Diamond Harbour. Number 5 will be Gorish. Gorish's last outing was pretty impressive. It ran in race number 33 this monsoon meeting over 1100 meters, where Gorish traveled second till it turned for home and then took over the running and then eventually got beat by Incendio in the final stages. And Gorish finished a length and a quarter behind Incendio. That's the one to watch out for. Top class out of Nanobel. Number 6 will be Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly's last outing was in race number 20 over 1100 meters this monsoon meeting, where Buddy Holly finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Mr. Fox, who won that race by 1 length. Number 7 will be Fireberg. Fireberg's last outing was in the winter season in race number 207 over 1400 meters, where Fireberg travelled very wide in the final stages of the race and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was City Heights. Number 8 will be Uncrowned King. Uncrowned King's last outing was in race number 41 over 1200 meters. Not impressive at all. Finished on 12th out of 12 runners and couldn't settle the Uncrowned King in its last outing was the rider, and the winner of that race was Dancing Prince. Number 9, we're looking at Marigold. Marigold's had 2 outings this monsoon meeting. Won its first start in race number 7 and then in race number 15 over 1100 meters. Finished on 2nd, 2 3/4 lengths behind the winner. That is Shimmering Star. We move on now to the third race, which is the Sir Ollie Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. We're looking at number 1, Tweedledee. Tweedledee's had 2 starts this monsoon meeting, finished on 3rd in both its outings. Last one being in race number 32 over 1400 meters, where Tweedledee finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Malana, who was too good that day, won it by 4 1/4 lengths. Number 2 will be Next Star. Next Star, stern opinion out of Miss Langkawi. Has had 2 starts this monsoon meeting. Won its first start over 1100 meters in race number 1, and then in race number 16 over 1100 meters. Fell short by 3 1/4 lengths to the winner, that is Malana, and Next Star settled for 2nd spot in that race. Also in the same race, we had number 5, Lady 2, who finished on 4th. Number 3, we're looking at Shohin. Just had 1 start this monsoon meeting in race number 12 over 1400 meters, and Shohin finished right at the back end to finish on 10th out of 11 runners, and the winner of that race was Airlift, who won that race by 2 1/4 lengths. Number 4 will be Beatles Bible. Beatles Bible's last outing was in the winter season in race number 101 over 1400 meters, where Beatles Bible finished on 7th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Jacobean. Number 6 will be Stunner. Stunner's had 2 starts this monsoon meeting, last one being in race number 23 over 1200 meters, where Stunner finished right at the back end to finish on 10th out of 12 runners. And also in the same race, we had number 9, Ruby Cube, who finished 1 behind to finish on 11th, and the winner of that race was Midnight Star. Number 7 will be Dungle. Dungle's last outing was in race number 31, this monsoon meeting over 1400 meters, where Dungle finished on 6th. Also in the same race, we had number 11, I beg your pardon, that is Summerhill, Burden of Proof out of Summer Wine, who finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Kantai. And you never know, Summerhill might be the one to watch out for. Number 8 will be Mr. Fogg's last outing was this monsoon meeting in race number 20 over 1100 meters, where Mr. Fogg's travelled second till it turned for home and then gradually took over the running and went on to win that race by beating Aquitania by 1 length. Number 10 will be White Walker. White Walker has been unlucky in both its outings this monsoon meeting in race number 6 and number 10 respectively. Finished on second in both its outings, one over 1200 meters and last one being over 1100 meters, came a flying second and just got beat by a long neck to Astoria. Number 12, we are looking at Aquitania. Aquitania's had 2 starts, finished on board in both its outings. First one finished in race number 20, finished on second, and last outing being in race number 34, finished on third over 1100 meters, and the winner of that race was Astoria. We move on to the 4th race, the Calcutta Juvenile Sprint for horses 3 years old only, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We're looking at number 1, Astoria, has had 2 starts this monsoon meeting and won both its outings. Last one being in race number 34 over 1100 meters, as you can see, went on to win that race by a length and a quarter by beating Tiburon. Number 2 will be Angel Grace. Speaking of which, out of Serafina, as Angel Grace just had 1 start this monsoon meeting in race number 23 over 1200 meters, where Angel Grace travelled 5th till it turned for home and then gradually gained 1 place to finish on 4th. And the winner of that race was Midnight Star. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Aqua Racer, who finished on right at the back end to finish 12th out of 12 runners. Number 4 is Adhira. Adhira has just had 1 start in race number 22 over 1400 meters, where Adhira made it into a start to finish essay and went on to win that race by 3 1/4 lengths by beating Inca. Number 8, we are looking at Miami. I beg your pardon, number 6 is Asmita. Asmita's last outing was in race number 33 over 1100 meters, where Asmita travelled very wide and finished on 4th, was Asmita. And also in the same race, we had number 8, Miami, who finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Incendio. Number 7 will be Atom. Atom's Arazan out of Firefoot just had 1 start this monsoon meeting in race number 29 over 1200 meters, where Atom finished on 2nd, 5 lengths behind the winner, who was too good that day, that is Valeria. We move on to the 5th race, which is the Calcutta Monsoon Sprint Terms for horses 4 years old and over. So we run over a distance of 1200 meters. We're looking at number 1, Multitude, multi-dimensional out of Heidi. And last outing being in race number 24. Its only start this monsoon meeting. And what a start that was for Multitude, who came up with a strong run on the outside and went on to win that race by a length and a quarter. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Big Orange, who did come up with a late run to finish on 2nd, a length and a quarter behind the winner. And also in the same race, we had number 5, Lincoln, who did take over the running and went on to finish on 5th eventually. And number 6, Brahmachari, who finished on 4th in the same race. Number 2 will be Amorous White. Amorous White's had 3 starts this monsoon meeting, won its first start, then finished 3rd in its second start, and last outing being in race number 38 over 1400 meters, where Amorous White finished 2nd, 3 1/4 lengths behind the winner, that was Eastern Star, who was too good that day. And also in the same race, we had number 4, Breeze of the South, who finished on 7th, and we move on to the 6th race, which is the Desiree Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. We're looking at number 1, Pugnacious. Pugnacious' last outing was in race number 12, this monsoon meeting over 1400 meters, where Pugnacious showed no show absolutely and finished on 9th, and the winner of that race was Airlift. Number 2 will be Drogo. Drogo's last outing was in race number 111 over 1400 meters, where Drogo finished on very wide of the track to finish on 7th, and the winner of that race was Poet. Number 3 will be Sniper. King Dakar Zealous just had one start this season in race number 26 over a mile, where it was ridden by Suraj Naredu and came up with a strong run down in the centre. And after a tough fought battle between Sniper, Bojangles and the close finishing Fiorel, Sniper eventually went on to win that race by a long neck, and Suraj Naredu gets the mount once again this time out. And also in the same race, as I said, we had number 4 Fiorel, who finished on 3rd, and number 5 Dancing Lord, who finished on 7th. Number 6 will be Apna Time Aayega. Apna Time Aayega's last outing was in race number 39 over 1800 meters, where Apna Time Aayega finished a faraway second, 3 1/4 lengths behind the winner. That was 7 Step. Number 7, we're looking at Devotion. Just had one outing this monsoon meeting in race number 31 over 1400 meters, where Devotion went on to take over the running and led the pack till the distance post, and then gradually faded back to finish on 4th, and the winner of that race was Kantai. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, which is the Palacio Sun Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. We're looking at number 1, Top Notch, top class out of Elzam, has had 2 outings this monsoon meeting, finished 3rd in both its outings, last outing being in race number 43 over 1400 meters, where Top Notch, after much efforts, travelled very wide of the track and finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Luboton, and this time out being ridden by jockey Y.S. Srinath is Top Notch. Number 2 will be Expensive Affair. Just one start this monsoon meeting in race number 27 over a mile, where Expensive Affair finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Murakami, who was too good that day and won it by 2 1/4 lengths. Number 3 will be Singapore Sling. Singapore Sling's last outing was in the winter season in race number 116 over a mile, where Singapore Sling finished on 6th right at the centre of the track, and the winner of that race was Expensive Affair, who came up with a late dash and went on to win that race by a long neck. Number 4 will be Joss. Joss's last outing was in race number 196 over 1600 meters, where Joss travelled very wide of the track and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Fiorel. Now running in the lower class is Joss. Number 5 will be Leopard Creek. Leopard Creek's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 41 over 1200 meters, where Leopard Creek, after much efforts towards the rail side, finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Dancing Prince. Number 6 will be Christiana, burden of proof out of Sterolesia, but Christiana's just had one start this monsoon meeting in race number 25 over 1400 meters, and that was very impressive run there by Christiana. Came up with a very late run, travelling very wide in the final stages, finished on 2nd. Also in the same race we had number 8 Nobleman, who finished right at the back end to finish on 10th, and the winner of that race was East Side. Number 7 will be Top Cat. Rip Van Winkle out of Closing Bell is Top Cat. Last outing being in race number 46. The only outing it's had over 1800 meters, where Top Cat travelled very wide in the final stages and finished on 7th out of 7 runners. And the winner of that race was Fire Opal. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. And as always, hope to see you tomorrow at the races.